A Russian Air Force Su-25 fighter jet shot down another Russian Su-25 in the occupied city of Soledar in eastern Donetsk region. The footage was shared on Telegram channels. As can be seen from the footage, fire from one of the planes flying nearby resulted in the other plane exploding in the air. Russian sources said that the plane was not shot down by friendly fire, but rather crushed due to a technical malfunction or pilot error. The pilot of the crashed plane is said to have been injured.
If an A-50U was destroyed during Operation Spiderweb, which the SBU recently carried out on Russian airfields, this means that the enemy has only 2 or 3 such aircraft left. Aviation expert Konstantin Krivolap told Ukrainian radio about this. According to him, Russia has simple A-50s of the old model, which see even worse than the Su-35 radar, and there are A-50Us which see quite far and can do all the target designations. It was with the help of these systems, the expert says, that the first launches of Kinzhals on our territory took place. In total, 7 A-50U units were modernized. We shot down 2 in the Krasnodar territory over the Sea of Azov in January to February last year. Another was significantly damaged at the Mashulishchi airfield in Belarus back in 2022. If an A-50U was destroyed now, then that's great. The Russians have no eyes now. That is, they have 2 or 3 aircraft left, Krivolap noted. They are targets of the Ukrainian army. Krivolap noted that recently the A-50U can be seen very rarely because they do not understand how many S-200 missiles we have left, saying this missile, as we have shown, is capable of striking at 300 kilometers. This is exactly the range that the A-50U can see. In addition, Krivolap commented on the Ukrainian Armed Forces strike on the Russian Savas-Leka airfield on the night of June the 8th, where a MiG-31 and an Su-30 or Su-34 were hit. The Su-30 and Su-34 have very similar contours when viewed from above. They have similar wings next to the cockpit. The Su-34 is a bomber that the Russians use to carry cabs, and the Su-30 is a fighter that goes out to escort these aircraft, he noted. According to Krivolap, it is very important that the MiG-31K was hit, meaning that the Russians now have 1 less Kinzhal carrier. We destroyed 34% of strategic aviation with the help of wedding drones and another 18% of the ability to carry Kinzhals. These aircraft are no longer produced, the aviation expert said. As reported earlier, the General Staff announced the exact losses of the Russian Federation during the special operation Web. According to its data, the Defense Forces destroyed 41 enemy aircraft, including strategic bombers and other types of combat aircraft. The Ukrainian Armed Forces also recently struck the Savas-Leka airfield in Russia. As the General Staff stated, the occupiers use these airfields to strike Ukrainian territory. It is from this military facility that MiG-31K fighters, which carry the Kinzhal aeroballistic missiles, take off. According to preliminary information, 2 enemy aircraft were hit, probably MiG-31 and Su-30/34 aircraft. US President Donald Trump's calls to Russian dictator Vladimir Putin for peace in Ukraine and threats against Russia with hellish sanctions will not affect Russia's actions. In this case, more effective and specific measures in military, economic and political influence are needed. This was stated by the former head of the Foreign Intelligence Service of Ukraine, General of the Army Mykola Malamuz, in an interview with Telegraph media outlet. Therefore, he named 5 military factors that will force the Russian Federation to peace. According to Malamuz, Ukraine needs to be provided with 10,000 long-range strategic and tactical Tomahawk missiles. These missiles, renowned for their precision and long-range capabilities, can strike targets up to 1,600 kilometers away, depending on the version. This range classifies Tomahawks as strategic weapons designed for long-distance strikes. Interestingly, the definition of medium-range missiles typically encompasses ranges from 500 to 5,500 kilometers. By this metric, the Tomahawk's range fits within the category of medium-range weapons, yet the missile is seldom referred to as such in common parlance. Mykola Malamuz says that Ukraine needs to be provided with several thousand ATACMS tactical ballistic missiles, thousands of aircraft, M2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicles and Leopard tanks, electronic warfare systems that jam ballistic missiles and drones of any type, millions of rounds of ammunition. The general added that it is also necessary to put economic pressure on the Russian elite, including Putin's family, since financial sanctions alone have 58 closed positions. According to him, sanctions on energy should affect Russian oil and gas, after which, under the leadership of the United States, Europe and China will build a new world order. The wartime economy that Russia spurred into overdrive is slowing, causing tensions among the country's economic elites as the war with Ukraine approaches its 4th year. Many Russian civilian industries have stopped growing, and some had even gone into decline. The combination of rising prices and falling economic activity has led some economists and officials to warn that the Russian economy is moving towards stagflation, a quagmire where prices rise quickly without growth. Western nations have subjected Russia over the last 3 years to some of the strictest economic sanctions in modern history to punish President Vladimir Putin for his invasion of Ukraine. Russia's slowing growth and rising inflation, economists say, show that the sanctions are having an impact, putting a dent in the stimulating effect that the Kremlin's enormous wartime spending has had on the economy, they say.